Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today? Episode 220, and today we've got a few different things that we're going to talk about. Some small stuff that just clear off the docket and enjoy. And, you know, it's really nice display type things to really just kind of add to that different time of the year, you know, to your shelf, and maybe seasonal, maybe not. Maybe it's just something that you're really into. It just ties in really nicely to complete out a scene or just, you know, a general display overall. So the first two things the only two things sets we're going to talk about today. The first one here is a seasonal Valentine set. Now, obviously, we're rolling into the Valentine season super duper quick. I mean, it's about a month away, a little less than a month away, a little more than a month away. And before you know it, it's going to be here. And you know what? The Valentine stuff is pretty cool. I think last year was the Valentine's bear, wasn't it? I love these. I love these little sets. They're really nice to add to a display, like I said, or just, you know, give us a little gift and be like, here, I love you so much. You know, anyway. So the one I'm referring to is 40522. It is a Valentine Lovebirds. It's going to retail for $12.99, $13, obviously, here in the United States. And I got to tell you, for what you're getting here for the $13, I like this better than what we had on offer last year, by far. I really like the build of this thing. I really like the color palette of this thing. Really nicely done. So it came with 6 bags, believe it or not. I really found that hard to believe. They're small bags, obviously. Not anything like super huge like we're going to talk about here coming up with some other stuff here in the next few shows. But my goodness, I love the way these were done. You get a pair of lovebirds here, obviously. You know, we're talking about birdies. And you've got some plate base here, and then you've got some buildup of what is supposed to be like a tree branch that is, you know, built on the top of this plate, which is a little funky. I suppose it's okay because it is a Lego set. But anyway, with that in mind, you have these 2 birds that are on this branch, and the birds are actually on a little spinny piece here, a little rotation piece that is used here, the little turntable, and the birds can actually spin around and they can kind of nuzzle noses to a certain degree. Like, oh, it's so cute. We're in so much love as little birds. But yeah, you do have that in mind, I guess. You know, it's Valentine's Day. But here's what I want to do. I want to talk about the birds because the bird builds are identical, although the color is slightly different on them. So the build on these were actually a lot. It felt very much like Brickheads, but in a better version. And what I mean by that is there's just more texture here than there is on a regular Brickheads. So starting at the base, obviously you're starting up from plates and stuff like that. But interesting little part usage here. You've got some slopes. You've got some inverted slopes. You've got tilings all over the place. And then, you know, you've got this long tail that sticks out the back. It's really nicely done. It is kind of flimsy, though, so do be careful with that if you plan on moving this thing around a little bit because it can potentially pop off. You do have the wings that are brick built as well. Obviously, this is all brick built. Stupid for me to say otherwise. But it is only attached by a stud, a single open hold stud on the other side, so that it does allow you to pose the wings a little bit and move them around. And I really like the opportunity to be able to do such things. So the breast of this thing is slightly different in color from the other one. So you've got some lime green, you've got some lime green tilings here in the front. You got orange, you've got an orange face with the red beak. You have the standard tiled round tile eyes that have the black and then a little white dot in the middle to make up the eye. And you've got the top of this crest, which is that it's like a dirty yellow orange color. I don't remember what the heck this color is. Is it the flame orange, flame yellow? I like this color to pair with the orange. It really gives it some different tone. And then you have the coloring that comes along the back with the lime into the darker green. And then you have some lighter green in here as well. So you have different shades that really give more detail, more desire to this thing. Now, there is kind of one bugaboo that I have along the top end of the head here on the back side of the crest. There is a spot here where the two studs are sticking open. They're kind of out there. I would have loved to see them use those pizza type tiles, the quarter round tiling in here to kind of close this off to make it look a little bit more clean. But I guess if that's the only thing that I really can complain about, that would be it. You do have some black in this as well. I forgot to mention both of them have the black, and that is fine for the back end. And then it has some light bluish gray for the what is supposed to be the feet in the front. So I do like the way that is done. My favorite part on this is the texturing by far. Both birds are identical in their build. And there wasn't anything that I was like, oh my God, how are you going to do this? How is this going to be accomplished? Pretty much basic, but I would love to be able to build multiple other colored birds and just have this whole like nesting bird sitting on a tree, on a branch. I think it would be so neat to have just something different, that we've seen kind of with the brickheads, but in a different vein, because it's not the brickheads. It's its own thing, and I do like the way this is done. So the other bird, the coloring is somewhat different, as I had mentioned. In the front, instead of it being the lime green, you have the dark green here, the foresty green. As you move up, you have some lime green tilings, some yellow tilings, and some orange. The wings are identical in build and color. And then as you move up towards the top part of the head, this is where you get that flamish, orangish, yellow color. I like the way that is done, and it's done the whole way around, actually, from the side of the head through the front, back to the other side. And then across the top, you have the lime green that goes down the back spine of the bird. And then the back tail, which is green. And then the other parts of the, I guess, would be the feather, the plumage. The feathery stuff is black as well, just like on the first bird that we talked about. So I really like the way these are done. There's something unique. There's something different that, you could take them off of their turntables and use them however you wanted. Now, what also comes with this, you do have this brick built heart that is up here on a trans clear piece just to, make it look like they're in love. It almost feels cartoony in the sense that you have these two birds, and if it were a cartoon, you would see like the love heart up here above them. That's kind of what it gives vibes of. You have little tiny hearts that are scattered throughout the build along the bottom of the branch here. And then you have some foliage using the brown plant base pieces along with the green leaves to give you some texture, some color, some details, stuff like that. So I really like the way this is done. The base is fine, but man, I love these birds. I took mine off. I've got my birds just chilling here with me, one on each side of my computer monitors. So they just add something different. I love birds. I'm not like, oh my God, I love birds so much. But like when they had the 12-in-1 kit that came out, a year and a half ago, and there was a flamingo in there. One of the builds was a flamingo. I still have my flamingo out here. I just love that kind of stuff. For some reason, I just do. And it's not super big. It's not super duper tiny. But, I can hold this in my hand and just kind of maneuver it around, or I want to pose it or whatever. Everybody's got their thing. Maybe this is my thing. Maybe I'm a Lego birds person. I don't know. Maybe I need to see more birds, So with that in mind, that is, it's a pretty good set. For $13, it fits well for a holiday theme under Valentine's Day. I don't know if you can consider Valentine's Day a true holiday because it's made up by the card companies, right? Isn't that the popular belief? I don't know whether it's true or not, but I'm going to contest that is probably not the case, but what do I know? So the next one that I want to talk about, the last one that we're going to talk about, because it's a short episode today, is the high-speed train. And I have neglected this. I've been meaning to talk about it, and I was like, where can I fit it in? It doesn't really fit in here. It doesn't really fit in here. I can't just do an episode by itself. And I was like, oh, it'll go great with the birds because they're smaller builds. So the high-speed train, this thing has gotten a lot of traction recently. Since its release, people have just gone absolutely gaga for this thing because not only is it a train, it's a small train. It does not fit on the tracks, so don't, go, oh my God, we're gonna... No. It's too tiny. So 40518, the high-speed train, it is a $20 price point and has 284 pieces. The nice thing about this is LEGO has really thought ahead here. You can connect the two sections. You have your, I guess you could call it your locomotive, but you have your front end of the train and then you have your center part where it's, just kind of squared off on the ends. It's not tapered in the front like the, I guess, locomotive part is. This is supposed to be a theoretical electric engine as well because it does have the electric connector bar that sticks up along the electric lines. So I do like that. Really a neat little build. Very simple in the way that it is done. And I there's something about the tiny build here that just really kind of works well. I'm hoping this is a hint. Lego is very good at dropping hints to things, and I can foresee this being a hint of, hey, we're going to build this high-speed passenger train and it's going to be similar to this. Like, I can see that. I have no proof to this at all. I have no valid information. I am completely speculating that this may be a thing, but it would not shock me in the least. So your train wheels are not even really train wheels. They're train wheels, but they're super skinny train wheels. Some stickerage that is on here. So on this locomotive, starting, I guess if you're going to call it anything, it would be towards the rear. It has a number 1 on it, a white sticker, a white backed sticker with blue in here, with a blue box that has the number 1 written on it, printed on it. And then just above that, it says LCC HLC high speed. I don't know what that means. I'm not a train person. I like watching trains. I think trains are fascinating, but no, unless you get stuck at it. In the town that I moved to, there is a train track that runs through a heavy part of the town. We're talking a small town. And my God, the 2 times that I got stuck there, it must have been, no kidding, 10 minutes minimum sitting there waiting. And at some point I gave up counting cars at like 70. I'm like, I'm done. Get out of here. Anyway, so then as you move towards the front, there is some, they use the ingot pieces here on the side. I like this in white. Adds some texturing. It's not just flat the whole way. I do like that. And then as you get towards the front, there's another sticker here with the train logo on it that has the 2 arrows and then the circle in the middle. GG96 with an exclamation point. The stickers are the same on the opposite side as well. I got to tell you what, I did like one thing here. I liked the front end of this and the way that the build was done to get the tapering here. It was really unique in the way that it was done and how everything just kind of clipped in here. And this is my 5-year-old child mind coming into play here. Okay. And when I thought about this, I immediately thought of the movie Cars, or one of the Cars movies, one of the 3. And there's enough movement here because when you put on this front tapered piece that has the window, the upside down window, it is locked in by this roof segment piece. So after it clips in, it locks in that movement so it can't move up very much anymore. It still can move up. It can move up about 1/8 of an inch. It leaves you about 1/8 of an inch gap. And to me, I saw a mouth there. And then the lights, these clear lights on the side, I saw his eyes for some stupid reason. I know, 5-year-old kid inside my head. But that is exactly what I saw. I thought it was kind of neat. And I was like, it's almost like the train is talking. Like you could put like googly eyes there or something like that. I haven't done that. I might have to do that. But there's something about it. I don't know. So then moving on towards the rear, you have your ball joint connection in the back, and then you have your receptacle that is going to connect the second train car here. And the train car is built in the identical way, except for that it is flat on the sides versus being tapered. Just studs on the side type stuff where they use a 2x3 tile to get that accomplished. And again, you are just attaching and boom, connection point, and you've got yourself a train. And I like the coloring. I like the tiling. I like the shaping. Again, using those ingot pieces on the side, I thought was really something that didn't need to be done. And I don't know if they were going for something that looked like a real life train. If they did, they nailed it, but they didn't have to. So the stickers on this, the only difference is this still has the LCC, HLC high speed as well, but instead of being a number 1, it's a number 2. Now, what I found fascinating was I got left with an extra piece. Yes, an extra piece, not these tiny little silly pieces that you get, in case you drop one, lose one. I'm talking about a actual ball attachment here on a 2x2 plate that they use here on the locomotive, because here's why. If you buy 2 of these sets, and they're only $20, if you buy 2 of them, you already have extra stickers in here. You have 2 stickers for number 3 and 2 stickers for number 4, because you can actually turn this into a much longer train. You buy 2 sets, you have a front and a rear with the engines, and then you have 2 middle sections as well. They put this in there that way, depending how you want to configure your trains, you have it. It's done. So I like that. That is very good forethought. I appreciate that kind of thing. For me, that's where I'm like, Lego, you finally get it. Now, they've gotten it all along, but that I really like the way that is done. I really like the opportunity for that to be the case, to be able to make a much longer train for display or whatever. You want not just one, but here's the other thing. Okay. It's $20. Now, if they would have created this with the 4, some people would have been like, well, I don't need all 4. I just wanted the 2. Well, now you have the 2. If you want 4, go buy it. You can do that. Instead of having to pay $40 and getting a full thing where some people may not have wanted a full all 4 segments, now you can only get the 2. And if you want it, go get it. That kills 2 birds with 1 stone there. You're always going to have people complaining. And now you pacify the people that just wanted a train, and then you pacify the people that that wanted a longer train, because now they can go buy multiple segments and build a bigger train. Brilliant. Lego, you just continue to make people happy in the simplest ways, but it is sometimes the simplest ways where people complain the most. They complain the most over the simplest things. Well, why didn't I get a straw with whatever, with my drink? Well, you see, sir, you don't have a lid? Whatever. My point is, this is super brilliant of them. And I like the set. Again, this is just like the last one that I talked about with the birds. This is something that you can set up, and just have a nice little display piece. It is not a giant full-size train, so you don't have to worry about finding all this room. This can go perfectly on a shelf. If you just want to have these 2 pieces, you can do that. If you want to have the 4 pieces, you can do that. And I'm willing to bet you could probably even create your own railroad tracks for this, because they're sitting off of a 2x2 plate that has the wheel attachment bars that stick out, where you stick on the tiny wheels. I'm sure you could come up with a way through the Lego parts that are out there and create your own little segment of track just for these to sit on, just for display. Some people are going to do some really cool things. Me, as soon as this episode is done and recorded here, I plan on taking the lights off in the front and putting some eyes on, because I want to see what it's going to look like. I want it to be super silly. Anyway, with that in mind, that's all I've got for you guys today. Kind of a shorter episode because it's just been busy. I mean, with the move and stuff and not being able to find things, some things just got packed away in the weirdest places, and then, fighting off this horrendous weather. It's 80 degrees. Now it's 20 degrees. It's Texas for you. So with that in mind, I hope you guys are off to a great start in your new year. Hopefully you are out there purchasing up all the brand new Lego things that are out there. We've got some of those that we're going to be talking about sporadically as we move along. So until the next time we meet, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.